So we all know it was the programme that taught us how to cut, stick and how to make the most incredible creations. There was a dog, the Blue Peter Garden, and there was always one they'd made earlier. Don't get me started on the badges we've already discussed that everyone was desperate to get. You know what I'm talking about. Of course it's Blue Peter. And the show has broadcast its final live episode. So we're asking which TV from the past you'd love to bring back. Can you believe it's no longer going to be live?
Well, it's no longer live. You can still see it, and obviously it's a pre-recorded programme. And although, obviously, you, myself, and many people watching, we wax lyrical about Blue Peter because we remember the old days of Blue Peter when we came home from school, together with everybody else in the nation who came home from school. Probably, I had a Ribena and a biscuit and was allowed to sit there, watch Blue Peter.
My mum used to watch it with us.
Yes, of course,
yes.
Because we sat around a television. But of course, kids come home now and they open their laptop, they're on their smartphone, they're chatting to their friends. The children who want to watch Blue Peter are going to watch it on a laptop, or they're going to watch it on a smart TV when you can go onto YouTube and watch whatever you want.
I just can't help thinking that's a little bit sad.
I know, and
because we had our mums with us, or whoever was looking after us, to kind of talk it through with us.
Yes.
To kind of explain and laugh with and chat with. Let's have a little look. This is Anthea doing her stuff on Blue Peter.
This is actually my favourite because it's the papier-mâché bit. Now, papier-mâché, you might have done this at school. I did it at school and loved every minute of it, basically because you can get nice and messy. But you get flour and water paste. Flour and water paste is easy to make. You put some water into a bowl and you just keep adding flour until you get a gungy look like this. And then you get bits of newspaper, scrunch them up, put lots of the flour and water onto your base, and then put the scrunched newspaper over the top of that.
Wow, that was 1993.
Yes. I loved it.
You were one of those girls who loved doing that sort of a thing.
I did all the makes on Blue Peter, or most of them in any case, whilst I was there, because I was, as Diane used to call me, Pollyanna. Oh, Pollyanna will do it, yeah. Because I love making things. I'm dyslexic, not horribly dyslexic. That's another subject, really. But I can't spell. Right. It's really, really bad. And so at school, I struggled. And I managed to go to a grammar school. I don't know how that happened. But at school, I struggled. But I did art. So I did art, craft. I've even got a pottery A-level because I come from Stoke-on-Trent. So I did music, anything, drama, anything that didn't involve writing,
the physical
reams.
Things? Because there were, we all remembered, John Noakes climbing up Big Ben and looking like God forbid he was about to fall off. Were you good at those two, and did you like them?
Loved them. I've been dangled from helicopters in the North Sea. I did coast steering, where you sort of climb on rocks, so you don't have any attachment, but you just fall into the water if you fall off the rock. Did all of those things. I loved Blue Peter. If I wasn't too old, I would still be there doing Blue Peter. I loved it so much.
I think you're born a Blue Peter person, aren't you? But I remember when I was little, and it was my Blue Peters were Valerie Singleton, John Noakes, and Peter Purvis. Then I remember the amazing day that Leslie Judd joined. One week she was dancing with the young generation. The next week she was the new presenter. That was incredibly exciting. She had that wonderful Purdy haircut. Do you remember? She was young and trendy.
So cool.
So cool. And they were almost like members of our family.
They were, and I remember because the royal family were very out of touch as far as we were concerned. And when Valerie Singleton went to Kenya with Princess Anne, I was glued to it. She was our Princess of Wales, she was our Princess Diana, she was everything.
And what about the Blue Peter appeal, where you had to do something, you had to send in some extraordinary thing? A milk bottle top.
Stamps, milk bottle tops, yes.
Was it pillowcases one year?
All sorts of things have gone into there.
And what about the Advent calendar?
Of them. Well, you wonder how many homes have been burnt down because of the Advent calendar. To think it was actually 2 coat hangers, and I can still make one. So 2 coat hangers and the tinsel, but they had jam jar tops on the top of the coat hangers, and then they put candles.
Well, I know.
Would you do health and safety?
No, you would not.
Forget it.
The number to call if you want to tell us about the TV that you miss most and would love to see again, 0207 862 2222. So they asked me, what would you like to see? And I'm just going to give you a clue.
Okay.
This is what I said.
Right.
It's Friday. It's 5 to 5. And it's Crackerjack! Let's have a little look at Crackerjack.
If something is toxic, what might it be? Toxic.
Poisonous.
Poisonous, yes, he's a true champion, this lad. And you're one now. What is the modern name for the city of Constantinople? Constantinople. Quiet, please. Quiet. No, I've got to take 5 seconds because we're running short on time now. 5, 4, 3. You don't know? Istanbul. Istanbul. Bad luck.
But do you remember what happened next in that quiz?
They kept on piling things up.
Piled up the
didn't they?
prizes, but then
Yeah.
when you got it wrong, you had to hold a cabbage. Do you remember?
I'd
And the
forgotten
cabbages
that.
were really quite large, and so you'd have all these prizes that you were desperate to win. And you know, we didn't have much stuff in those days, so
No.
you'd think, oh, I'd love that
No.
game, I'd love that football.
they were
and then
grateful.
there was a cabbage, and then if you got it wrong again, there was another
cabbage.
and then these poor little children were only small because they were children were holding all these and then the whole thing would just collapse. The whole edifice of prizes and cabbages would end up all over the floor, and it was just absolutely magnificent. The whole programme was absolutely glued. We were glued to it. We've heard from Paul. Paul said he'd like to see an updated version of Queer as Folk, but he'd like to see it more in soap style, where it's on so many months of the year, and it's about the time, he says, that we had an LGBT plus led soap opera. Good point.
Absolutely, a good point. I have to say, I'm going to throw in my idea, and I don't know, I think everybody will love it. Saturday morning television.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
What's happened? I don't know if they still have it or not.
I don't even know what goes on a Saturday morning
But parents
anymore.
used to love it because they could carry on
Everybody watched
sleeping a
it.
bit longer, didn't
Yes. Tis was. And, you know, Swap Shop, all of them.
And Cat Dilly and Ant and Dec, of course.
Of course, absolutely.
Chris
I was
Tarrant.
on Chums. Yes, of course.
Yes.
So Saturday morning television used to be a viewing appointment, didn't it?
And it felt as if it was specially for kids. That was the point. wasn't
Exactly.
It felt
But
like it was
also-
television sort of siphoned off just for you,
Yeah, but even if you were in your 20s, you'd still watch it.
especially hungover.
Yeah, it
There'd be a lot
wasn't-
of
it wasn't just for kids.
hungover students happily watching it. From your own career, what about, was it called Life Laundry? Is that
Well,
yours?
I used to love a programme, and it was on BBC Two, and it's called Life Laundry.
Yeah.
And it was where you got everything out of your home, and she put it out on the lawn.
Oh, yeah.
And then...
OK, let's have a quick look at that, and then you can tell us why you liked it so much.
I'm Donna Walter. I help people declutter their homes. And Jamie Breeze is an antiques and collectibles expert.
Together, we tackle people's messy lives to give them a fresh start.
We'll make them decide what to keep, what to sell, and what to throw away forever.
Why did you like it so
I was
much?
glued to it. So when I ended up at a programme meeting about a programme, what would I like to do? I love that programme so much. That's where Perfect Housewife came from.
Oh, right.
A programme which I adored presenting. It was me. It was, you know, cut me into, I'm either a Blue Peter presenter or I like organising things. And that's Perfect Housewife.
Let's
And it
go
was
to
because
Paul,
I was
who's on the
so-
line in Staffordshire. Hello, Paul. Nice to hear from you.
Vanessa.
What would you like to bring back, sir?
I'd like to bring back Doctor series from on BBC.
Oh, Doctors the Drama.
Oh,
It's
yes.
not long since they stopped making that one, is it?
I know, just bring it back something. I like Anthea as well. That's to see on television. Yeah.
Yeah.
We-
Oh, you're from Staffordshire as well, Paul?
Yeah.
We've had
Staffordshire,
two callers
yeah.
from Staffordshire. Is this anything to do with the fact I'm from Staffordshire? And
Must be.
No, just because I used to see you on television all the time, you know, with Blue Peter, and I think you used to work at a local radio station. I think you did, didn't you, Anthea?
Sorry, I
Yeah,
used to say it again.
You used to work at Signal Radio, didn't you, all those years ago?
Signal Radio, absolutely.
Yeah,
A
you
bit-
did, didn't you? I know,
I
yeah.
got into broadcasting because I did the road traffic reports on BBC Radio
Yeah,
Stoke-on-Trent. See?
Yes. So
Where-
Doctors has really pretty much only just stopped, hasn't it? But it's obviously left a
Yeah,
bit of a
yeah,
gap for
yeah.
you, has it?
Also, I think they ought to bring back Orbit City, because that was a great series as well. To bring these programmes back is great.
So you love a
Those
hospital
things,
drama,
Orbit.
obviously.
I like drama, yeah, of course.
Yeah. What about from your childhood? What would you like to bring back from that? Apart from
I
Blue
suppose
Peter.
they could bring back Black
Me and
Beauty.
Vanessa
Black Beauty, they could bring that back, couldn't they? Or something
Black
like that.
Beauty.
Or Magpie, or, you know, whatever.
Oh, I love Black Beauty.
Yeah, Black Beauty was
Beauty,
absolutely
yeah.
marvellous. I used to like Junior Showtime. Does anyone remember that?
Of course.
And hoofing it out
Yes.
there when they were sort of 5, 6 and 7 were Bonnie Langford, Pauline
Keith
Quirk,
Chegwin.
Keith Chegwin.
Bless Keith
bless
Chegwin.
his
Loved Keith
memory.
Chegwin.
Yeah.
And Mark Hurry, who ended up doing Blue Peter. A lot of talent came from Junior Showtime. That was a wonderful programme, that was. And when you think about it, really, some of the programmes that we've ended up doing, sort of, you know, even X Factor and things like that, Junior Showtime started all of that off.
All their careers.
Yes.
All their careers. I
Yeah.
know. It was really, it was a fantastic show. And think how many kids would love to be on it. My God, I know
They
every
should
one of
bring
my
that back.
grandchildren
Actually,
would want to be on that
I'm
show.
surprised that somebody hasn't brought that back. I'm sure there's a whole load that we could bring back and would have a relevance today.
I certainly think so. And we had one caller saying Hill Street Blues. Would love to see that again.
Never got into that.
Hill Street Blues, American.
Yeah,
Blues,
no.
You know, that sort of a thing.
Never got into that. Yeah.
Listen, it's fabulous to have you here.
So
I've
nice
so
to be
enjoyed having a
here.
good chat with you.
Can I have a biscuit?
We haven't. Yeah, you can have a biscuit with pleasure. We haven't even shown the picture of you and me on the town with Boy George a few weeks ago.
Gosh,
And that was only a few weeks ago. I took that straight out of my phone when I knew you were coming in. So grateful thanks to the beautiful Anthea Turner, and thank you so much for all your calls today.